Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching and welcome to my house. In this video, I want to remind you and talk to you about maintaining and backing up your personal developer instance. Let's take a look at this email I just got from ServiceNow's developer program. Dear developer, please save your work and release the current instance by the end of next week. The instance has technical issues and must be retired. And thanks for being an active member of the ServiceNow developer program. Okay, so this is going to happen. I can't extol enough the value and benefit of the personal developer instance program, allowing you to run an instance of ServiceNow and learn how to configure the instance and test things and do different things. I personally use it for all of my content that I produce right here on the channel, and I think the PSA that I want to leave you with is you need to back up your data and you need to be prepared for situations like these where you're going to have to rebuild your instance. So let's talk about exactly how I do that in my instance. And first, I'm going to start off with the easiest thing that you can do is make sure you have a mid-server set up. I have one set up using a Docker container and it is active and up and running. This is actually the instance that I need to release, but I want to show you a couple things before I do. So I've got your mid-server. Once you have your mid-server set up, then think about the important things that you are doing in your instance and make sure that if they're important and critical to you, if it's data, you need to back up the actual data. And so you can use things like export sets that are a native part of ServiceNow and have those items, I have 42 of them in my personal developer instance, export to that mid server. So I do this on a regular schedule, and I also enhance this by on the Windows server actually mapping or copying over all of the exports to my Google Drive so that there's a cloud copy in addition to my local copy in addition to my PDI. So that's two backups for my PDI's data, just the data piece. So this is really, really important. The second piece that I've probably harped on many times on my channel here is to use source control. So anything that you do in your instance, make sure you're doing them within an application. You can see here I have my content helper, ServiceNow release notes, ServiceNow store updates. That's the one I use to actually crawl the store. And if you have it tied to source control, you can make sure that your data is being saved and committed. Look at this. We actually have some available things to commit. It looks like, okay, my import sitemap wasn't saved off to ServiceNow. So if I go ahead and check this one before I release my instance, this is going to save everything to my code repository. It just happens to be GitHub is what I'm using. Import sitemap update. I don't actually know what that is. I think it's basically the job I turn on and off as part of my flow or whatever. But now it's taking my application, any configurations that I've made, and saving them to GitHub. And I can take these and easily import them back into my new instance when I get my new instance. So that's what number two. You can actually go to this shortcut here, sys_repo_config.list. I went here to get a list of each application that I needed to go look at and upload or sync or commit any changes I made. So that's all been done. The last thing is new to Vancouver. I was able to do this because it bit me really hard on the last one, is that I didn't keep track of all the applications I installed on my previous PDI, the one previous to this one. Well, luckily, the new application manager in Vancouver gives you a neat thing. I'm going to go ahead and point it out here with my pen, and it's called Activity Log. So what I did is I went into my activity log and I copied and all of this stuff. So I did see more as many times as I could, which showed me everything from the time that this instance was created. App Engine Studio, there's my integration hub spokes, Flow Designer, PPM, events and jobs, all the different stuff that I installed. I copied and pasted all this into a document. So the first thing I do when I get my new PDI, before I import anything from source code, before I import any data, is I'm going to go install all the plugins and apps that data and those backups are actually using. So it's going to save me some time. So now, with you here, with me, let's go ahead and release my developer instance. We're going to do that together. Let's see, I'm going to open a new tab, and it is going to ask me to log in, which I need to pull my login here on a different screen. Let's see, copy, password, and we'll go ahead and sign in. I usually log into my PDI directly and don't come through here unless I absolutely need to. The only thing I'm blurring out on that screen is my email address. You'll have to forgive me, I don't want that on the internet forever, even though it's probably pretty easy to find at this point. But now we're in the developer portal. This is the PDI that they want me to release. So notice in the instance actions that you access right here, let's go ahead and try that again with the rectangle. In the instance actions, there is a release instance, and you get to there by clicking on your initials in the upper right hand corner. Is how you open up this menu. So I'm going to go ahead and release the instance now that I have backed up. Actually, I need to back up one more thing. Come back over here to the developer portal. I'm going to release the instance. By releasing your instance, you allow other developers to use that resource. Remember that this action doesn't give up your access to the site. You only lose access to your personal developer instance. If you change your mind, you can always request a new instance from the home page. Reason I'm selecting, let's see. The reason I'm having a different, no, they told me to do this. ServiceNow instructed me to release the instance due to technical issues. Got my reason in there. ServiceNow instructed me to release it, so we're going to go ahead and release the instance. And I'm then going to request an instance. We're going to pick Vancouver and hit request, and now I will wait on that to request. So hopefully this was a good PSA and reminder to make sure you are backing up your personal developer instance in ServiceNow. Make sure you take advantage of the things I showed you there. Set up a mid server, super easy to do. I have a video that shows you how to do it. Make sure you're exporting your data, make sure you're syncing your apps to source control, and for that matter, make sure any changes you're making or configurations you're doing are associated with an app that's synced to source control. So that way all you have to do is come in here, commit, do your exports, and go get that application history from the application manager like I showed you, and you'll be in business. Watch for another video where I show me rebuilding and happy Justin in his new PDI. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, please subscribe, or share it with somebody who you think might be interested in strategies for backing up and saving and restoring their personal developer instance. And until next time, don't forget to always be learning.